So you're thinking about moving to the Sarasota, Florida area. Well, in today's video, I'm going to be going over all the areas of Sarasota, Florida and going through the pros and cons of each of those areas. And you'll want to stick around to the end because I'll be sharing my personal top 2 favorites. Let's do this. So what I'm going to be doing in today's video is I'm going to hop on my computer here and share my screen to really go through the map of the area and be highlighting some of these specific areas of the county and the city, and give you some background and give you some information for each of those areas. Kind of, who are the kind of people that are typically moving here? What's the greater concentration of most of the people that are living there? And really breaking down the lifestyle of each of those areas so that you have all the information you need to start thinking about where you want to live when you make your move here to the Sarasota, Florida area. So I certainly hope that this video is helpful to you, and we're going to be hopping on that screen now. Let's take a look. All right, my friends, well, welcome. We're just going to hop on here and look through this map of Sarasota and how it's laid out. Sarasota, the city, and Sarasota, the county are, of course, the city is within the county, but Sarasota County covers a pretty wide area here. It actually goes up here from University, which is right here. This now starts Manatee County just right here. Literally, this one road splits it. So it starts up here to the north, all the way down, all of this, Mayaca River, all of this, down into the Northport area. It ends right here, just on the southern side of Englewood, up here and here, and then this becomes Charlotte County right here. So this part of Northport, this part of Englewood, Mayaca, more Mineral Springs, all of this area, South Venice, this is all part of Sarasota County. You can type in Sarasota and it will sometimes bring you up into these areas. Let's break this down. I like to look at Sarasota as a quadrant. I take it and I draw a line down 75, my north and south line, and then I draw an east to west line, kind of, and you can do this either here, where this is Fruitville. This is called Fruitville, also known as 780. It's a major east to west road. Or you can also do 72, which is also locally called Clark Road. So this right here, left to right, that breaks up, and you can look at it as a quadrant here. The north and south, here's top right. That's how we're going to kind of look at this today. And then, of course, we have our islands that are way out here, and they just sit out here. Yes, they are part of the county, part of this bit of the city, some areas, but for the most part, they are their own entity, and you get to realize that when you live here. Real quick, the most established and some of the oldest areas of the city and county are going to be located downtown, and that's going to be right here. I'm just going to zoom in for you. This whole area downtown is some of our oldest homes. If you're looking for something historic, maybe a renovation project, also this is where a lot of non-deeded properties are, because they have either been razed, the homes have been removed, and it's just a lot available, and then they'll build newer construction. So this is a hodgepodge of some historic homes and some newer homes. You can literally have a brand new modern contemporary concrete cinder block home next to kind of more maybe a Spanish style older 1960s home. So it just depends. They vary all over when you're here in the downtown area. And then we also have our infamous Bayfront Park, which is a beautiful area. It has a Marina Jack's is there as well, which is a popular restaurant, and the Bayfront Park is just beautiful. A lot of people go and walk there. It's literally right there on the water. There's a playground there with a children's interactive fountain that's turned on through the summer. And here's Marina Jack's. It's a great place to eat, and it's beautiful. They have kind of two areas, a more casual setting and then a more formal setting. Lots of places to eat right there, and of course walking paths, and it is a park. So all these little walking paths you see. Lots of people love it too because there's a lot of boats that are docked there, and it just looks beautiful. It's very picturesque. It can be anywhere from a little sailboat to a huge yacht, and it's just a beautiful area. You see a lot of our photos from this area, and also the statue, the kissing statue, the famous kissing statue is located here as well. They just recently moved it to this park area. This is our downtown area, and I would kind of look at this as, okay, you're going to find your historic homes. You're also going to find a lot of condos here. from anywhere from 2 to 3 floors, all the way to high rise. This is where our high rises are. So if you were looking for any of that type of housing, whether it's condos or historic or very, very walkability too. Downtown Sarasota is incredibly walker friendly, excuse me, and lots of crosswalks and lights and super, super walking friendly. And we also have some e-scooters and e-bikes that have now become popular. If that's your thing, if you want to just hop on a little e-scooter and go down a few blocks, and that's easier than walking, you can do that, and bikes and all of those things. And again, this area itself is really not that large. You're not talking but maybe a half mile, if that, from here. And we do have every 4th of July, this is where the big firework display happens. My family and I, what we like to do, they kind of shut this main road off traffic for a little bit. They really try to restrict the traffic, and people can walk here, and many people will park all up wherever they can find parking here, and then you walk to Bayfront Park. And my family and I, they shoot from right here at the tip, and my family and I to be right here just close to the fence. They do fence off. They don't want you coming into where they actually fire the fireworks off, but we will typically lay right here and bring our blankets out, and we'll just lay there and be super close to the action. It's very easy to get up and close. And some people who have memberships at this botanical gardens right here, they'll have 4th of July night there. So you can come and actually set up your beach chair or whatever you want to bring and sit here, and you have a great view of fireworks from there as well. It's super, super fun. And I know my family and I, we kind of made a fun little memory. We do it. It's a tradition now. We just go and do it every year. And then of course we have the Opera House here. The main large library is down here. There's a Whole Foods. There's an amazing Starbucks. One of my daughter's favorite Starbucks is actually right here next to that Whole Foods. And then closer towards the islands, as you go down towards the islands, you have the Ritz, the Embassy, and the Westin, which is a fairly newer hotel. There's also condominiums, private residences that are available in that building as well, attached to the hotels. That's kind of a layout of downtown, and the Van Wezel Performing Arts is here as well. And you'll see all of our condos, all of the older homes and older roads. The roads are a little bit narrower, but very well kept and maintained and cleaned. And that's all down here in the downtown area. So if you go a little further north though, this is really where right now we're seeing a renaissance. And this was kind of the 3-4 zip code, 34234 zip code. And for a good while, this was where you would find some of the very older, some maybe even the homes that needed the most work, or duplexes that were there that were affordable, very affordable. And it was just a lot of industry. So here's 301, which we actually called Washington Boulevard here in the area locally. This, you'll see a lot of industry all along east and west of here. And even if I zoom in, you can see it's just a lot of commercial. And then the homes kind of be dispersed in there to the left and to the right. So this whole area right now is really going through a renaissance of sorts. These older homes that really had not been kept up over the years. They're coming in, they're either tearing them down or they're renovating. And it's become quite a popular thing to do because it's a more affordable way to get into the downtown area, because a lot of people love living downtown here because of the walkability. And you wouldn't necessarily need a vehicle if you live downtown. If you can walk, or if you want to use a bike, or if you want to scoot around, this downtown area is very friendly to that, and you could do that. If you're used to the New York City lifestyle or LA lifestyle, this is just heaven compared to that. Lots of parking, very walker friendly, very clean, very just great weather most of the time year round. And then there's always a lot of things going on, with all the stores and all the little shops and bars and restaurants, lots of restaurants. Sarasota is the #1 location for Zagat rated restaurants in the country. Lots and lots of restaurants, and it seems there's always one opening up. And some of them have rooftop bars, and that's very popular. But so this right here, if you're looking for maybe to get into a lower cost and want to kind of renovate something and get into that, then this would be the area I would recommend. A lot of younger professionals who work downtown are also moving into this area because a lot of the banking and the financing industry is located down here. It's concentrated, I should say, down here. Live closer to their work downtown. This is where they come. You know, I'm always talking to people just like you who are looking to move to this area, and I just love helping them out. And if you have any questions, or if you want me to talk about a certain area or anything, just drop those in the comments below. I'm always reading them, and I love making videos to help you so that you can make the best and smoothest move here to the Sarasota, Florida area. So go ahead, reach out. It's never too soon, whether you're moving next week or next year. Leave me a message, text, call, email, you name it, however you want to get a hold of us. Me and my team are waiting and standing by to help you make that move to Sarasota. Moving back to the east here, this used to be all of this green that you see here way out east. It used to be all right here as well. And since the 60s and 70s, it's just been growing and growing, developing and developing. And this here, the meadows, I have a whole video on that as well. And Nathan Benderson Park is fairly one of our newer parks because it also coincides with when they built the newest mall at University Town Center right here. But here again, this is our University east to west road here, and this is what split Manatee County here in the north to Sarasota County here. But there's very little difference as far as the feel. You'll see that living out here, you start getting into where Lakewood Ranch is. And this, so I would say from Fruitville, which is right here, to right here, this whole area to the northeast, this is all newer development. This is where you're going to find your new homes or your newer homes. This is where it's just being developed and developed, whether it's minor or smaller plan communities to large master plan communities. This is where it's all happening. Now, we're also seeing this begin to happen in the southeast area off of this Clark area here now. So that's becoming popular as well. And we're also seeing it happen down in Venice. So all of these master plan communities are becoming very popular, and we're seeing them sprout up. But if you want the original, the first place this became popular, it would be right here in the Lakewood Ranch area. It was voted #1 master plan community and multi-generational community many years in a row since it first kind of sprang up. This is that area. This is where your newer homes, with that comes the premium. This is also where some of your more expensive and very high-end luxury communities can be found out here, such as the Lake Club and Lakewood National Golf Club. That's a very popular place. I mean, we have over 100 golf courses here in the county. Can you believe that? Or in the area? And that's a lot. And so many of them are centered or have neighborhoods surrounding them. Not all of them are private. Several of them are public, or at least you can get a public membership. If that's something that's important to you, you could certainly find a beautiful, wonderful, whether it's a single family or a condo attached to a golf club or a golf community. Now, moving south, we get into out here. Now, this used to be, I hear stories from the locals all the time, how it used to be all cow pastures out there. And so back in the day, this is where you would come out and drive the truck around, learn how to drive a stick shift or just learn how to drive in general. This was all cow pastures, and you can see very few. They're kind of going away slowly, even since we've lived here since 2013, but you would still see patches of pasture where they would have cattle and cow, a remnant of what that used to be there. And so we don't find that so much inland anymore, but out here you still do. And this is also out towards our big park, Myakka River State Park. Beautiful park, very Florida fauna, some areas are a little swampy, some are beautiful pines and palms, and it's a really fun park. If you're ever visiting the area, it's beautiful. They do have some camping spots. I think you do have to reserve quite ahead of time, though. They do fill up quite fast. But there's also a suspension bridge that kids just love. They'll take field trips. A lot of the local schools will take field trips out to Myakka. There's a beautiful lake out there. This lake here, you can either rent a flat bottom boat, you can canoe, but I will say there are a lot of alligators in this area. There's even what they call an alligator alley or alligator hole, where I think they take a lot of alligators that they find in town and they'll take them there and they'll just sun all day. And you can go and take pictures. And there's a little road overpass where it's kind of safe to stand and you can take photos. And it's quite impressive at certain points of the year to see just how many alligators come out and just sun out there, and all sizes, small to humongous. But this is the Mayaca. If you want land, if you're looking for acreage, out here is where you'll do that. There's a lot less acreage here inland, especially some of the newer construction. Now, you can still find some decent sized lot here in the older areas of Sarasota, but if you want new, big, or just lots, this is definitely the area. A lot of people too are finding land down here in Northport, again, still part of Sarasota, Sarasota County. They're finding a lot of land down here, but one thing that people say about Northport is most of it is non-deeded. So this isn't where you'll find your master plan communities. Some here are popping up randomly, but for the most part, Northport is what I would call kind of unincorporated. They just have lots. It's just gridded out, and you can find a good chunk of land, build whatever you want there, but then that also means your neighbor does the same. And so some people kind of compare to the rest of the county, where even in Venice, whether it's South Venice, North Venice, you'll find more deeded communities, more uniformed communities, your garden homes, condominiums, and those kinds of things there, whereas that's a lot less in Northport. And then down in Englewood, you'll find, again, your single family residential. It's an older town, and because Englewood historically doesn't really have beaches per se, Venice, or because see this little barrier island right here, it kind of keeps, now it's calmer here, Lemon Bay is calmer, but this little barrier island area here, that's what keeps your traditional beach look and feel, and that's why there aren't necessarily beaches to go to in Englewood. And you would come up here to Manasota Key, that's where you would drive from Englewood onto Manasota Key, and that's a blind pass, and then drive north to Casperson. That's a very popular beach for the Venice area, and of course Nokomis Beach and the Venice Fishing Pier, very popular. And of course some of this is being rebuilt too since Ian and patched up. We're already opening back up, but there's also a North Jetty in the Nokomis Venice area. That's a very, very popular. See, it splits. This is why they call it North Jetty, because it's on the north side of this jetty here, and that's how you're still in Nokomis versus down into Venice Beach, because here's Venice Beach here. Lots of parking. You've got facilities. They're all great beaches. They've really done a wonderful job here in the county of making beaches accessible to everyone, and at least one or two great beaches that anybody can go to, no matter what. And of course, there's golfing. There's golfing everywhere, and depending on what kind of golf you do, depending on what kind of course you want to play, depending on if you want to live on a golf course or just have access to a golf course and be nearby one, you can find that. Venice definitely has a lot of golfing and a lot of country clubs as well. I would say Venice is kind of also going through this renaissance, or really just reinvigorating kind of thing. A lot of people are attracted to the lower cost of living down in Venice, and there is a cute little downtown Venice area that has the Venice Theater and a strip of stores, and that's what leads into the Venice Beach area here, this Venice Avenue right here. This is where your Centennial Park, a historic downtown Venice, this whole area right here is just really, really nice. It has that old-timey Spanish construction of the buildings, and this is where your shops, main strip of shops, and that leads you straight onto the road, takes you straight to the Venice Beach. If you want to be, now these homes, this is all residential right here, so close to the shore there, they are on the higher price point, but, and it doesn't seem the Venice Municipal Airport, this is a smaller little airport. A lot of business executives who own homes down here or work down here, they'll fly in and out of the Venice Municipal Airport, especially if they have either private jets or private planes. This is a great airport for that. And really, depending on, now Venice has its own high school, and all of the schools in Sarasota County are incredibly well rated, and you can look that up. I'm not just saying that. You can look it up on all the public records online, and whether it's niche.com or Great Schools, incredibly well rated schools. And also one of the popular gifted schools is down in this area too, called Pineview, and that's really in the Nokomis area kind of here. And Toscana Isles, that's a very, very popular neighborhood as well. Multi-generational, it has beautiful pools, and because it's named Toscana Isles, miles. The homes are all kind of built around these little islands, and there's water, a lot of water visibility. If you can see water from your home, many of the homes have beautiful views. And 75 will take you down into Venice and Northport area. But I will say this, I'm going to zoom out because I want you to see something. Just going from, say, Bee Ridge in Sarasota, which is kind of, I would call Bee Ridge and Gulf Gate the heart. Gulf Gate is just right. This is kind of the heart of, if you're not going to be downtown in the city, this is really where Sarasota started to grow and develop. And there's some original neighborhoods here that have the larger lot. Homes aren't just stacked right on top of each other. Nice, big, spacious home. Many of them are one story. It's rare, or not rare, it's not as common to see the large two-story homes here in this area. But now, especially since we first moved here in 2013, this used to take about 20 minutes to get from, this little exit here. You hop on here at 75, you come down here and you get to Venice. And to get to that Venice beach, it used to take about, 20, 25 minutes. Not much anymore. They are expanding this intersection right here. They're turning it into cloverleaf special design with the highway. And that construction has taken some time, and it's also caused a lot of backup at times. And since our growth, and we've just blown up since 2020. And since that, it's really just the traffic load. We're kind of having growing pains from traffic right now. I think with time and with infrastructure changing and improving, it will ease up because we'll get better at traffic flow. But right now, it can easily take you a good 45 minutes from any of this area here, taking that interstate down 75 south and headed into Venice. People who are commuting from Venice into downtown Sarasota, you just need to factor that in. Because it used to be, yes, it could take you 20 minutes. And even up here in Bradenton, people used to commute from Bradenton down into Sarasota. And you could take several ways. You could do 41 here, which used to be, by the way, a little history fact here if you didn't already know. 41 used to be the only way to get north and south along the coast of Florida until 75 was built. You could actually take 41 all the way down to Miami and all the way up. You could keep going up, 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 up. But so you could take a few ways. That's one thing that's really nice about Sarasota is there's not just one way in and out of a lot of places, except for some of our islands, obviously. There's only one bridge on and off islands. For the most part, if 75, if something's going on with 75, you can take 301, you could take 41, you could take other little smaller roads. Honore is one that we have. That makes it a little bit nicer. It helps alleviate some of the traffic jams and issues we could come across. But this used to take to get from Bradenton down into Sarasota. It could easily take you a good 40 minutes. If you choose to live up here to save, because it is a little less expensive to live in Bradenton now, since 2020, things have just blown up everywhere. But people used to live in Bradenton because it was more affordable houses. The cost of houses, was less, but not as much anymore. You'll find it quite comparable to Sarasota, but the traffic has gone up. I don't know. Me personally, I am not a commuter fan. I try to live as close as possible to where I do most of my shopping and living. And I don't think it's worth the cost of paying less in a house when I'm going to be having to drive more, because that's more something to consider. And I would say too, even out here in Lakewood Ranch. Now, the nice thing about Lakewood Ranch is that it's pretty you have everything you need right there. You've got your grocery stores. You've got lots to do, lots of fun things. Downtown Lakewood Ranch has fun little things to do in restaurants, and there's golf, and there's clubs and sports complexes where you can pickleball, and large fields. The premier sports campus here, this is a popular place to have your kids' soccer practice or cheerleading, and I think a local high school uses the football field there. And here's a Walmart Supercenter and a Publix, and everything you can need right here. And right here at the UTC is a Target, a Super Target. Everything is right here. You don't have to go into downtown if you don't want to. But if you did have to or want to, that's also quite a bit of a commute. And you're looking at taking this interstate, or at least taking University into town down to 301 and into the downtown area. That can easily, my daughter goes to school actually downtown, and that easily takes us anywhere from 25 to 30 minutes from this area here into downtown. Just something to consider. If you're wanting a new construction and wanting to live in Lakewood Ranch, but you're needing to work or commute into downtown, just something to consider. And then finally, I'm just going to talk about, in general, this area here that I haven't talked about yet. This is your Palmer Ranch area is what I'm going to call this, even though it encompasses Gulf Gate and the Bee Ridge. This whole area here, Gulf Gate is a super popular area. A lot of villas here and single family ranch homes, smaller 19 kind of 60s ranch homes. And this is definitely where you'll find very well cared for older homes, our coming back mid-century homes. And a lot of people love that. Great schools. You could check out greatschools.com. All these schools are very well rated. And by the way, Florida, if you haven't caught any of my other videos, Florida is a choice state, or at least our county is a choice county. It means that you can go to school for any school. You can choose to go to school to any school regardless of whether you're zoned for it. Now, the only issue with that is you're not guaranteed a spot into a school that you're not zoned for. If you do decide to apply to a school and you accept, you can go there whether you're zoned for it or not. So that's what's nice about that. So say you work downtown and you want your child to go to a school closer to you, you can have that choice at least. It's not guaranteed. I tell people if you want a guarantee, then absolutely in the zone that you want to go, your child to go to that school. That's the only way to guarantee it. But here's an anchor golf course here. It's TPC Prestancia. Here's a wonderful feature of Sarasota, the Legacy Trail. And it runs, this thing is 36 long and it runs all the way. They just finalized the extension of this. So now what used to be an old railroad path, they've completely ripped up all the old railroad. They've paved it. They've made it a pedestrian, cyclist, rollerblading, scooter. It's just this beautiful, nice, wide Legacy Trail, and it can take you all the way from Venice. It takes you from Venice. You can take the whole trail from Venice into downtown Sarasota. And there are, you can cross over all these major roads. There are special stoplights and you push the button and it stops the traffic and you can go. Quite safe. You can just ride. Some are longer stretches before you have to cross anything. And it's beautiful. And people use this Legacy Trail. There's lots of stops along the way where you can park your car. It's not just a start and stop at the beginning and the end. It's all along here. And you'll see this on the map here is this green line. And you can really see it on the satellite. I'm going to switch over here so you can see this. So here's the Legacy Trail. You can kind of see where it splits here along the road and it goes all the way down. It drives through it goes through Oscar Share State Park and it goes down. There's North Venice, there's Nokomis, it goes all the way down into historic Venice, downtown Venice. It's just a wonderful, everybody who takes the Legacy Trail just loves it. And then recently it was extended through here and then you turn and you go into downtown through here. Great fun. You can take the whole family and ride your bike or walk or rollerblade, whatever you want. It's pretty wide, lots of space, and there's stops along the way, whether it's restroom or water or benches. So it's not just this long, they have stops all along the way, and some of those stops even have little playgrounds and stuff as well. To explain again, let me go back to the other map. This area here, the Palmer Ranch area, very popular with lots of communities, gated communities, mostly single family homes. There are some condos interspersed here, but it is not the bulk. The bulk are mostly big, large neighborhoods with multiple single family homes, a little denser, but definitely there's not a lot of 55 plus communities here. There's maybe one or two 55 plus kind of spread out through here in this north side of down in this area. It's pretty much mostly just your traditional family style single family homes, and they vary in size from 3-bedroom 1,200 square feet all the way up to your very large homes, depending on which community. Now Honore as well takes you all the way down into Venice. It runs along the interstate, and this area down here south of Honore has recently been developed as well, so you'll see some newer communities as well that have popped up there. So if you still want to stay in the Palmer Ranch sort of area and want newer construction, you can find it closer south or headed south on Honore. There you have it. Of course, we didn't talk about the islands, but they are here. You have all the Siesta Key to the west, Longboat here, and then Anna Maria is north of Longboat. These you can and can only access through these three key points, three bridges. Here's our famous Ringling Bridge is here. That takes you to St. Armand's and Longboat. And to get to Siesta, you actually take these smaller bridges here. 1 and 2 will take you over into Siesta Key. That is, and this right here is kind of where most people go to Siesta Key through this point here. And there's a bridge right here. This is a, what do you call it? This is a bridge that goes up and down. So sometimes you can get stuck there. There's a light and you have to wait, and it doesn't open and shut very often, but when it does, it can hold up traffic and can get pretty bogged there because it's only about a 2-lane on and off. So sometimes that becomes an issue. When this opened up here on the north entrance to Siesta, that really was helpful. But there you have it. It kind of gives you a lay of the land as far as here's where you can get land still, here's where you can find those nice mid-centuries, or if you want a multi-generational single family and still super convenient to downtown in a deeded community, here you go. If you want newer construction, master plan communities, you're looking at Lakewood Ranch, and it's very self-contained with its own little downtown, and now with Waterside, it's a new area that's opened up, super popular with people to go and have fun. There's a park and it's beautiful on a lake. And then up here where you have your older section of downtown, this is where if you want to get a historic home, or if you want to renovate something, or if you want land, to find land and build something new, you can do that down here as well. I hope that helped explain just kind of the 4 quadrants of Sarasota and the county. And of course, if you have any questions, feel free to drop those in the comments below. If you're looking for something in particular that I didn't even talk about, I need to do that. So leave me that in the comments below, and always remember to subscribe and hit those notifications if you find these videos helpful, because that's what I want to do. I just want to help you make a great and easy, smooth move to Sarasota. Till next time, take care. Go back to the other map. This area here, the Palmer Ranch area, very, very, very popular with lots of communities, gated communities, mostly single family homes. There are some condos interspersed here, but it is not the bulk. The bulk are mostly big, large neighborhoods with multiple single family homes, a little denser, but definitely there's not a lot of 55 plus communities here. There's maybe 1 or 2 55 plus kind of spread out through here in this north side of down in this area. It's pretty much mostly just your traditional family style single family homes, and they vary in size from 3-bedroom 1,200 square feet all the way up to your very, very large homes, depending on which community. Now Honore as well takes you all the way down into Venice. It runs along the interstate, and this area down here south of Honore has recently been developed as well, so you'll see some newer communities as well that have popped up there. So if you still want to stay in the Palmer Ranch sort of area and want newer construction, you can find it closer south or headed south on Honore. There you have it. Of course, we didn't talk about the islands, but they are here. You have all the Siesta Key to the west, Longboat here, and then Anna Maria is north of Longboat. These you can and can only access through these 3 key points, 3 bridges. Here's our famous Ringling Bridge is here. That takes you to St. Armand's and Longboat. And to get to Siesta, you actually take these smaller bridges here. 1 and 2 will take you over into Siesta Key. That is, and this right here is kind of where most people go to Siesta Key through this point here. And there's a bridge right here. This is a, what do you call it? This is a bridge that goes up and down. So sometimes you can get stuck there. There's a light and you have to wait, and it doesn't open and shut very often, but when it does, it can hold up traffic and can get pretty bogged there because it's only about a 2-lane on and off. So sometimes that becomes an issue. When this opened up here on the north entrance to Siesta, that really was helpful. But there you have it. It kind of gives you a lay of the land as far as here's where you can get land still, here's where you can find those nice mid-centuries, or if you want a multi-generational single family and still super convenient to downtown in a deeded community, here you go. If you want newer construction, master plan communities, you're looking at Lakewood Ranch, and it's very self-contained with its own little downtown, and now with Waterside, it's a new area that's opened up, super popular with people to go and have fun. There's a park and it's beautiful on a lake. And then up here where you have your older section of downtown, this is where if you want to get a historic home, or if you want to renovate something, or if you want land, to find land and build something new, you can do that down here as well. I hope that helped explain just kind of the 4 quadrants of Sarasota and the county. And of course, if you have any questions, feel free to drop those in the comments below. If you're looking for something in particular that I didn't even talk about, I need to do that. So leave me that in the comments below, and always remember to subscribe and hit those notifications if you find these videos helpful, because that's what I want to do. I just want to help you make a great and easy, smooth move to Sarasota. Till next time, take care. All right, as promised, friends, I'm going to go over a couple of my favorite areas. If I were to just get to pick anywhere I wanted to live and nothing matters except for my preferences, I'm just going to share with you what those are. Bear in mind, these are my opinions. Of course, you may think, oh, I agree, or oh no, I wouldn't like that at all, or that's why I would if I share something I don't. This is just to help give you a frame of reference. We are a family of 4, 2 kids, middle and elementary schools. We do have a pet, and we do tend to prefer more of townhome community condo living and smaller homes. We're not into the really big homes as far as maintenance and upkeep. Even if you live in a maintenance-free community, it's still a lot of upkeep, and so we prefer to live smaller home type area. But if I were to pick anywhere, I would have to say that this Bee Ridge area is one of my favorite areas. And the main reason is it's just location. You are smack dab in the middle of everything and not far from everything, whether it's hospital, beach, interstate, you name it, you're right here, and everything you could need is right there. Grocery stores, clothing stores, everything. And again, I mentioned earlier, we're not big commuters. If I can get everything close to my home, that's my goal. And homes here the lots are typically bigger. There's a little bit more space as far as acreage, and you're not right on top of your neighbor. Communities are sidewalked, and it's just really convenient, and it's mature. So the trees and the landscape are kind of mature, and much of this area too, you will not find master plan communities, meaning you'll find deeded communities where it's its own little named community, but there's not a community center or there's not a community pool. You may have your own pool, which I would definitely recommend that, at least having access to a pool. If you don't have a friend with a pool, at least having access to a pool here is to make those summer months much more enjoyable. But this would be my area. I would pick any community here within Bee Ridge and Ashton area. Lots, and some were newer from the 1970s and up, and some are even newer here off Ashton. In this area here, there's some much newer communities. So depending on what your budget is and what exactly, if you're looking for a fixer-upper or something to renovate over time, that will help you decide there. And then the next place I would choose for my family would be going further south from Clark here, off of Honore. I would head into here the Palmer Ranch area. Not only are you near the Legacy Trail, which I mentioned, we are big to spend as much time outside or just active doing things. And the Legacy Trail is super fun and great. There's parks all along there. But there's also here off Honore, a really popular community is called Sandhill Preserve right here, that they have a beautiful community pool. And now homes here can easily start in the $500-600 range and up, and then HOA fees on top of that. But those are some of my favorite areas as far as location, which is the number one most important thing. Location, location, location. You can find something in the location you want. We can definitely, and if you want to reach out to us and let us know exactly what you're looking for, we can help you. Now, I can't let Gulf Gates go. Gulf Gates is super popular for everybody seems to be able to find something new. But again, here, you're not going to find your master plan communities. It's pretty much one-off, just individual homes gridded out. There's a few villa communities here, but you're close to, there's a Costco down here, Hobby Lobby, and then of course the intersection here that leads you to the beach. This is a very popular because of this location. You're far enough from all the hectic traffic right here, but close enough to just hop to get to Siesta Key whenever you wish. Now, I can't end this without talking about Lakewood Ranch, because many people know about and ask about Lakewood Ranch. Yes, it is incredibly incredibly popular. It is some of the newest development. You're not going to find that mature foliage or landscaping yet. It's been planted. The skyline's pretty bare because it's mostly homes, and eventually this will grow up. But now, just south of University here is Sarasota County. As I mentioned, up here, most of Lakewood Ranch is in Manatee County, but you need to be careful. Many people forget that here there are CDD fees, or community development district fees, and that's something that's tacked on in addition to your taxes, and it's just part of the cost that they passed on to the home buyers for the infrastructure, putting in pipes and electrical and sidewalks and paving and all that. But now Waterside, which is being developed here, as you can see, Waterside, this whole area is just blowing up, and you're looking at minimum 600, regardless of whether it's a condo or single family or anything, but minimum there. But so beautiful, very, very well thought out, an attraction for families to get together and mingle and eat and snack and have fun and just enjoy the beautiful lake, because it's right here on the lake. That is definitely a popular spot for us. If I didn't care so much about commuting, this is likely where I would be. It definitely, with the newer builds, you don't have to worry about having to improve the home as much anymore, and we're still dealing with slight shortages of labor because of all the hurricane damage. Something to think about. And out here we do have a humongous, Del Webb is a franchise, and they've made a very popular brand of 55 plus retirement communities throughout Florida, throughout the nation, as I understand it. But they do have one here in Lakewood Ranch. It's one of their newer ones, but it's out here, way out here in the east of Lakewood Ranch. So there you have it, my friends. I hope that certainly has helped you, at least now. If you have any questions, or if you want to share some of your preferences, let us know exactly what you have questions about and what you're thinking about and what you're looking for, and we can make more videos to help you making your decision. And that's all we want to do here. You have an amazing rest of your day, and until the next video, you take care.